For 4 decades, we've had the Internet of Information, the Internet that most of us use today. And this Internet vastly improved the flow of data in our economy, but it hasn't really changed how we do business. And that's because the Internet was designed to move information from me to you, person to person. It wasn't designed for us to move assets like money to each other, at least not without a bank between us. As Alex and I have talked about, we're shifting from an Internet of information to an Internet of value. And how does Web3 fit in? Well, World Wide Web came out really around 1994 when the first browser appeared. We had Mosaic, which is not really a public thing, but then it was followed by Netscape. But it was called the Read Web, and that's what we call it now. It means that you could access information. It was a platform for the presentation of information or content. And eventually we saw all kinds of websites and good things happen. Then, a decade later, a little less, the web evolved from HTML to XML, and the web became a platform for computation, not just for presentation. Because you could go onto the web and you could do stuff. You could make an entry into Wikipedia. You could join a social media, Facebook discussion or something like that. It was a read-write web. And it showed great promise and great opportunity. Unfortunately, while it brought many wonderful things, it also created a whole number of problems. For one, we still need intermediaries like banks and government agencies to establish our identities and to enable us to exchange value like money online. These same go-betweens collect our data for commercial gain and for national security. Plus, their cost structures exclude some 2.5 billion people from the global financial system, and they've grown more powerful overall, not less. So the Internet has trouble preserving our privacy, establishing our identities, and including all of us. So what happened? Well, it's all about the centralization of control. Huge institutions now control what was supposed to be a shared global resource, the Internet. These companies maintain its infrastructure and they extract a massive amount of data from us users. They write the algorithms and the apps, managing business and managing our daily lives. They're using their power and influence over entire economies in society. Many of the early concerns raised by the early Internet pioneers have come true. Gross domestic product is growing, but job growth is pretty much flat. We're creating more wealth, but we're also seeing greater social inequality. Powerful tech companies have shifted from the open, equal web to exclusive walled gardens. They don't just exclude people from the conversation, they sometimes kill the debate altogether. Corporate forces have seized many of these powerful peer-to-peer technologies, and they're not leveling the economic playing field. They're creating a big obstacle course instead. The institutional control of our data threatens our privacy. Yes, governments of all kinds use the Internet to improve their operations and services. They also use it in quite alarming ways. Even democratic governments use it to spy on citizens, harass dissenters, and stay in power. They can learn almost everything about us from a handful of companies, not to mention what the companies themselves can learn, or what any bad actors can learn by hacking into these systems. So that brings us to the issue of security. Technology doesn't create prosperity any more than it destroys privacy. But technology is at the heart of just about everything, good and bad, in this digital age. The growth of online commerce creates more opportunities for cyber crime.
Moore's law, the doubling of processing power every year, also doubles the power of fraud and fraudsters and thieves. Let's call them Moore's outlaws, not to mention spammers, phishers, data kidnappers, and cyberbullies. And when it comes to establishing identity, we still don't know if we're dealing with a bot or a person, or for that matter, as the famous cartoon says, if you're dealing with a dog. Yet we sure do leave a big data trail behind us online. Powerful, what we call digital conglomerates like Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, were once internet startups. Now they're some of the largest companies in the world. They create amazing value for us, and most people love them. But they're also capturing troves of data. They can create value for themselves. Netflix is more likely to recommend a movie you'll enjoy, and that's great. But it also makes data this new asset class, and one we really should be controlling. We should be deciding who gets what data for what use and under what terms. There's got to be new approaches where we can access and even own our own data, use it to plan our lives, and even generate income for us. Oh, and also to protect our privacy.
Enter 2008, and Satoshi Nakamoto solved the double spend problem that existed, because all of this had to do with information. But if I sent you some information with the web, say a PDF of this deck, I'm actually not sending you the information, I'm sending you a copy. That's the way it works. That doesn't work so well for things of value. Things like money, or securities, or intellectual property, or the data in our identities, or contracts, or deeds, or cultural assets like art, or music, or votes. A vote's an asset, something of value that belongs to somebody. You don't want someone copying your vote or your identity, and if I send you $1,000, it's important that I don't still have the money, right? So, enter blockchain, as Alex and I called it, the Internet of Value, where anything of value, any of these assets can be managed, stored, transacted in a secure and private way. And trust is not achieved by an intermediary, it's achieved by cryptography and collaboration and some clever code. This is the read, write, own web. This is a web, if you like, that we can control. And I've been at this 40 years. I've been pretty lucky calling the big changes in technology over that period. This is the biggest one to me.
At its most basic, blockchain is open source code. Anyone can download it for free, run it, and use it to develop new tools for managing transactions online. And because anyone can develop it, it holds so much potential. It can be the basis for countless new applications, many we haven't even thought of yet. Their capabilities could transform just about everything. In the next few videos, we'll dig a little deeper into what a blockchain is and exactly how and why it works.